Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. My name is Tufnar, and today I'm going to be showing you a little bit of gameplay from a free-to-play title called Loadout, recently released on Steam within the last week, I believe. I have to stress, first of all, that they're still having some server issues. I tried to record this video yesterday, but I was literally waiting hours before I was able to get into a game, and the ping was so bad I was jumping all over the place. It was really bad. But they did release a hotfix last night. They seem to have gotten enough complaints overnight. Early this morning they released a hotfix, and it seems to be absolutely fine now. I mean, I couldn't even get into a lobby yesterday, apart from the one time after about 3 hours. But, you know, I was able to get into a lobby and into a game within 30 seconds the majority of the time. So yeah, they seem to have fixed that for the time being. Now the game, what is it? Well, basically it's a third-person, sometimes first-person shooter in the vein of comical shooters like Team Fortress 2, Battlefield Heroes. I know that's a poor comparison and a lot of you will be put off by that metaphor, but I'll explain more in a minute. And Arkham, I can never remember the name of that free-to-play title. The shooter whereby you are a made-up superhero with springs on their feet and capes that allow you to fly, things like that. It's a comical shooter, basically. More so gory and more for kind of adults, I would say. I don't know how else to put that, really, but more for adults than a game like Team Fortress, which is kind of, you know, a game for all the family, apart from when the body parts fly everywhere. But this, you know, you can buy Y-fronts with a ball hanging out, and you can even have nothing on at all, where it's just a blurred, flappy kind of suggestive image of a penis and stuff like that. And it's a fun game, guys. I'm not going to lie here. There's been a lot of complaints about imbalance within the system and how it was better in closed beta, but unfortunately I never got into closed beta, or I think it was early access actually, but I was never involved in that. So I've only got this to go by, and I've put a good 3 to 4 hours into the game so far. What you're going to see here is my first game, and I had no problems with it, to be honest. I think it's because everybody's sort of new to the game so far. Sorry guys, that's my phone. And no one's found any exploits within the system yet, but from what I can tell, it's really well balanced. People will say that, well, is it pay to win? Well, as far as I'm aware, it isn't so far, because a lot of the weapon crafting, obviously the game's called Loadout, it's about building your own loadouts, and the alarm bells start ringing when you find out it's a free-to-play title that's going to have real money transactions in it. And that, you'd be right to think that, because there have been a lot of games in the past that have scammed us with this type of system. But I have to say that there's a currency in game called plutonium, and that's earned through what you'd expect, really. Capturing the objectives, doing all that, fulfilling objective things, killing enemies. What you're seeing here is a game mode called Death Snatch, which is, if you've played Call of Duty, it's very similar to a game mode called Kill Confirmed, whereby you kill the enemy, you have to run up to their corpse and pick up the tag. In this case, it's a vial of plutonium, which is it's really good because it encourages you to move across the map. Because no one to kind of stick to one area, really. Because plutonium is quite a valuable asset in the game, obviously, because it's an in-game currency. People will run and collect it and even steal from their team players, as you'll see in this video here. But yeah, there are some really interesting mechanics within the game. There's a combat role, which is pretty cool. I say interesting mechanics, I mean not necessarily gameplay mechanics, but mechanics within the game. Obviously the loadout mechanic, where you can build your own sort of loadout, as the name suggests. I will be bringing that in the next video. This is just a kind of first impressions gameplay video, so if you're interested in sort of how the loadout looks, how it builds, what sort of options you've got, look out for my next video, which will be coming hopefully today or within the next few days at the very most. But yeah, first impressions, I really enjoy it. Like I say, this is my first game you're watching here, and I'm not doing too badly. I'm doing reasonably well. It's one of those games where, if you have even the most basic knowledge and experience with first or third person shooters, you can jump straight in and play. It's really basic, but at the same time, it's got quite a nice level of complex loadout building and stuff like that. I'm using the basic battle assault rifle here as my primary, and my secondary is a rocket launcher with a 1 round capacity. There's also a pulse rifle, It's not really a pulse rifle. It's a pulse beam. You may see in this video there's these like kind of streaks of sort of yeah, I suppose like lasers really, which are your basic kind of point and hold down on the enemy type weapons. There's an assault rifle, which is what I'm using here. There's rocket launchers. There's a what else is there? Oh, sorry, the lasers are the ones you're seeing here. There's pulse ones they're almost like little mines that you shoot people. They're not technically mines because they hit people, but they don't explode. It's like the battle rifle, except you have to get a lead on the target. I'll show you all these variants in the next video, guys. So don't ever go at me too much for not bringing them up in this video. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's and people who will argue about the free-to-play aspect and the kind of in-game transactions, some of the customizations are very expensive, especially if you're going to level them up. Like the skill tree system within the game, from what I can tell so far, it's based around say you have levels for your barrel and your stock and your your magazine, and you level them up individually, and there's a skill tree based around those, and you can level those up individually however you see fit. But they do level up very slowly indeed. I put about 3 or 4 hours in, and I still haven't leveled one of them up, and I've been pretty much using the same gun after a heavy customization each time. And it's like, from what I can tell so far, I've no doubt plutonium, which is the in-game currency, will be available to buy for real money in the future, or it may even be available now. I just haven't seen it yet. And that may allow a lot of players to kind of get ahead of you. But from what I've seen, it's still a game of skill. Like, if you're good at the game, you don't necessarily need all the fancy hinkum par, that's a word I'm just inventing now, on your gun to kind of bump you up a grade within the game. You just need to be good at it. You need to know where the health packs are on the maps. You need to play the objective smartly and make sure your team wins, because you get a lot of points from well, not a lot, but you get more points from winning the game, obviously, which gives you more plutonium. You need to know the maps. It's like any game really, and from what I can tell so far, the game will only have you pay real money for customization of characters. So, clothing type, colours, stuff like that. It's the sort of Path of Exile way of doing things. You can unlock the loadout spaces a little bit earlier if you'd like. You can customise your character to make it look however you like, which is pretty cool. And I think as long as they stick to that, they're not going to make too many enemies really, and it should be interesting to see where the game can go in the future. As long as they stick to this sort of what they're doing now, this business way of doing things, whereby it's sensible, it's not robbing the player too much, it's not making the player feel like he's being owned by players that have just pumped money into the game and have gotten that significant boost. It's we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now so you guys can watch the rest of this video. Like I say, this game's called Death Snatch. Kill confirmed if you've played it. You kill the enemy player, run over to their body, collect the plutonium. Adds up to the overall team score. So yeah, guys, I'm going to shut up now. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one, where I'll be discussing the general loadouts, the weapon types, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, enjoy, guys, and I'll see you later.
2 captures remain. Kill assist. 1 capture remains. You are victorious.